Hello and welcome to City Beat, your central source for news and information from the city of Rocky Mount. I'm Tamika Keenan-Norman, Public Affairs Manager, and during today's show, you'll find out how you can do something worthwhile for the city of Rocky Mount, and that's to provide assistance for the W.A.R.M program, or Winter Assistance for Rocky Mount. Coming up, I'll let you know all the details right here on City Beat.
As we know, summers in North Carolina can get very hot. Following are some tips that'll help you lower your bills and save some money.
One way to achieve big savings is to raise your thermostat to 78 degrees. 1 degree of change below that point will raise your energy use by 3 to 5%. Install a programmable thermostat to raise the air conditioner temperature at night or when you are away from home. Ceiling, box, and oscillating fans can be a lifesaver in the summer. They help evaporate the moisture on your skin and make you feel cooler. But remember to turn them off in unoccupied rooms. Close blinds or drapes, especially on the south side of the house, during the hottest part of the day.
Using an oven during the summer months can increase the temperature in our houses significantly. Another option is to use the microwave or cook outside on a grill whenever possible.
Postpone your laundry and dishwashing until later in the evening. Make sure you use your kitchen and bath ventilation when you're cooking or showering. These activities can add lots of moisture to your home that your AC has to work hard to pull back out. As with any time of year, remember to change your air filters once a month. You can install a filter whistle for less than $2 to remind you when it's time to replace the filter.
Following these tips will help you keep cool and also lower your power bills.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. Now, as I told you a little earlier, we're here today to talk about Winter Assistance for Rocky Mount, simply known as the W.A.R.M program. And here to tell us more about it are Tiffany Williams and Gloria Hunter with the Utilities Department. Hello, ladies, and welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. We have a beautiful day in front of City Hall today. And for those who don't know, tell me a little bit, we'll start with you, Gloria, about what you do for the city.
Okay. Well, Tiffany and I both work in what we call the assistance office. And in the assistance office, we try to provide assistance for all of our customers who may be struggling. One of the programs would be the W.A.R.M program. That is the city's program that the citizens of Rocky Mount donate to so that we can help those that are less fortunate.
And so we met a couple months ago. We talked about the W.A.R.M program. So Tiffany, tell me exactly what it is and how long it's been in existence.
Well, the program began back in 1986, and it is designed to assist low-income customers, the elderly. Normally the program runs if you're 60 for clients that are 60 or older, or disabled or recently laid off customers, and that is who it's designed to cover. There are income guidelines, as I mentioned about that, and it is administered through the Salvation Army for us free of charge for the city.
Okay. And in the past few years, about how many people have you all assisted with the program, Gloria?
Normally each season we have anywhere from 300 to 400 people who need assistance. Rocky Mount, we send out normally 33,000 utility bills, but about 300 to 400 of them actually need help.
Okay, that's a lot of folks that you've impacted throughout the years, yes. So that's always a good thing, that you can provide that help and that support. Now tell me why, and we're going to talk to some contributors later on in the program, but Tiffany, why should people want to support the W.A.R.M program?
Because it is the city's program. That is the only program that the city has designed to be able to help customers that are struggling with their past due utility bills. You know, unfortunately, especially when it comes to our elderly or to the disabled, they're unable to really do anything about their situation. So therefore, you know, when you're on a fixed income and you're making maybe $600 and all you're getting is $600 or $700 a month, it is really hard for those customers to be able to pay their rent, to pay the utility bills, and then in a lot of cases they have medical bills and medicines that they need to buy, and on top of that you still have to eat, you know. So it is really hard for them to be able to balance that. And so that's why we are here, so that we can kind of stand in the gap to make sure that they don't have to suffer during the winter months. And also, you know, as far as on the assistance end, you know, with the assistance department, we're also able to help them on the outside parts of the year when the W.A.R.M program is not in season. you know, we are still able to help those customers that are in that situation still. But that's why the program is really, you know, that's what it's geared towards, and that's why it's really important for customers to be able to help.
Okay, and I'm sure in the position that you all are in the department and for the city of Rocky Mount and with the W.A.R.M program, you've met a lot of people and established relationships with a lot of people. And when we talked before, and of course we kept it on an anonymous level, but we talked about some of the people who had been impacted, and you told me some of the stories. And can you share some of those with me today, Gloria?
Okay, one story that comes to mind, which shows just how anybody could actually end up needing help. We have someone who, they had a good job, everything was going well, head of the household, taking care of the family, never needed help. Car accident, paralyzed from neck down, which throws the family to a financial spin, and it's just very, very difficult, and people are very proud. They don't want to ask for help, but sometimes situations, and it could happen to anybody, you know, sometimes it just happens and you find yourself needing help.
Exactly, it does happen. It could happen to anybody. So what type of feedback, Tiffany, have you all received as far as the program is concerned? Not just from the folks who need help, but from the folks who are contributing every year.
From the customers that need the help, it's always a good feeling because they are very grateful for the assistance, you know. That's what makes the job worthwhile, because when they're looking at you with tears in their eyes and they're giving you a hug and they're just, you know, so thankful and grateful that you were able to do something to try to help them, to try to fix that situation, then for them, you know, that just does something to your heart that, you know, you just, nothing else can top. And then when it comes from the donors, on their end, you know, there's nothing better than giving. You know, it takes a good heart for someone to be a giver, you know. And people that are giving and they're giving cheerfully, then, and they know that their money is going to a good cause, then that makes them feel good, you know, and so that's what that's all about.
Okay, definitely a worthwhile contribution.
Yes.
And one of the things I noticed is this was so innovative how you all marketed the program this year. Tell me about the little picture of the bottle that folks may see in their bill inserts.
Okay, the bottle of the W.A.R.M, we were just trying to come up with a summer theme, and we were thinking about if we could just capture some of this heat, this 100-degree weather, and save it until the winter, but we can't do that. So we were thinking if people would just start donating now, preparation is the key, to start donating now so that when the winter comes, we will have money to go ahead and get started with helping people who are really in need.
Exactly. I thought that was so cute because at first I was like, what is this bottle?
Oh, I know.
And then it tied right into it, so I
Exactly.
loved it. But how can people, Tiffany, how can people contribute to the W.A.R.M program?
Well, one of the easiest ways for our customers, if they're a City of Rocky Mount utility customer, there is actually a spot on the bottom of their utility bill that is actually beside the amount that they have to pay for that month. And it is a slot for the W.A.R.M program if they would like to contribute. And so therefore they can add that to their utility bill. And if they were to flip it over on the back side of the bill, there's actually a sign-up sheet if they would like to do donations ongoing. So, and it gives them the option if they would like to donate $1, $2 or more per month, then they can simply put their account number up there and sign their signature and mail it back in with their payment. Also, there's an option on the back that we have that's new now, which is the Roundup program, which is an excellent way for customers if you just want a simple amount on your bill every month, where it will just round it up to the nearest dollar, so you never have to try to remember what the cents were, you know, and then that cents is still going to a good cause. So, but that's one of the easiest ways for customers to be able to donate. Now, for customers that are not City of Rocky Mount customers that would like to donate, they can always mail a check into the city and just put attention to the W.A.R.M program. And that's an easy way for businesses or other places that are outside of the area that would like to send in a donation, where they can send in a lump donation that way, lump sum donation.
Okay. And what's the contact number if folks should want additional information?
Well, my number, Gloria Hunter, is 972-1533. And Tiffany?
And mine is 972-1358.
Okay, ladies, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any additional comments that you'd like to make?
I would just like to say that if people decide to donate, we want them to know that 100% of their donations go to help those who are in need, and it is tax deductible.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you
so much. And thank you for tuning in to City Beat. When we come back, we'll speak with one of the contributors for the W.A.R.M program. I'm Tamika Keenan Norman. More of City Beat is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Mayor David Combs, and with hurricane season here, the City of Rocky Mount wants to make sure you know exactly where to find information during a storm. Code Red is an emergency notification service by which city officials may notify residents and businesses by landline phone, cell phone, text messaging, or email about emergency situations. Code Red is an additional measure of safety that you, our citizens, need and deserve. If the power goes out, you may not be able to depend on TV, but because telephone lines are self-powered and most people own cell phones, you can continue to be informed with Code Red. Please sign up for Code Red today by logging on to www.rockymountfire.org, or you may call 252-972-1376. You can provide both primary and alternate phone numbers that should be called during a Code Red situation. Log on to www.rockymountfire.org or call 252-972-1376. I encourage you to obtain timely, vital information during hurricane season by signing up for Code Red, and stay safe this hurricane season.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. And if you're just tuning in today's show, our focus is the W.A.R.M program, or Winter Assistance for Rocky Mount. It's a program that helps those paid their utility bills who've recently been laid off, who are elderly, or who are disabled individuals. And one of the contributors for the W.A.R.M program is Mr. Rod Holloman of Squeaky Clean Car Wash. Hello and welcome.
Hey Tamika, good to see you today.
Good to see you as well. And first tell me, I know a lot of folks in Rocky Mount already know you, but for those who don't, tell me what you do with Squeaky Clean Car Wash.
We operate 3 car washes similar to this, one on Bimini Road beside Fred's Club, and then one at Little Eastonburg, and this is our most recent one. We operate 2 automatics, a touch-free and a brush, and 3 self-serves and multiple vacuums on this property.
Okay, this is my first time visiting the car wash, so I'm going to have to come back because I love it. I love it. You're in a great location as well. But from what I understand, you have been a contributor, a faithful contributor to the W.A.R.M program. How long have you participated with the program?
Well, it started in 2005 when we opened our first car wash. Julia Farmer was with the Chamber of Commerce, and we were doing a grand opening, and we wanted to do a donation at the same time and a discount wash and let someone come to a new facility and go ahead and get used to our business. So she suggested the W.A.R.M program because of what I suggested to her, that we wanted to donate to the community. We don't want our money going out of town, out of state, out of country. We want to give to those that spend their money with us and support our business. We want to support those local charities too.
And we certainly appreciate that. We really do, Rod. Now, tell me the type of feedback that you received on that day or from those who found out that you were contributing to the W.A.R.M program.
Well, everybody seems to think like I do. You know, they agree that we need to keep our money locally and spend our money locally and do our charities locally as well. So it's been a real warm response. I'm also a partner in First Carolina Realty, which has given us a given me a firsthand awareness of how some people do struggle to pay their utility bills. First Carolina Realty has been in business since 1996, and with 2 other partners I started that. And so oftentimes you'll see them come in and they may be struggling to make their rent payment, and then they throw in what a high utility bill can be sometimes. So that gave me firsthand knowledge, and I've just sort of taken this as the one, my main one that I like to support.
So with what you do and having been a resident of Rocky Mount for so many years, I could say that this program is really near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know one that there's a lot of legitimate charities or things that we all can support. Not that one is more legitimate or more necessary, but this just happens to be the one that I like. And when Julia suggested it, I think she thought that it would fit well with the car wash business. So we opened up the car wash, the first car wash in '05, and we donated all the proceeds that day. And it's a great thing to do. You know, I don't retain 1 penny. We don't keep out expenses. We don't keep out water, utilities that I have to pay. We just give it all. And this year we're going to do it. We'll do a little different. It's $5 to get our best car wash, which is a substantial discount. Could be as much as 60% discount to a consumer. And I'm going to give all of that. You know, I hope that it brings people in. It's a way the community can be a contributor and also get a bargain that day, you know.
Okay. So when do you plan on doing this car wash?
We want to do it on July the 31st.
Okay.
That's a Tuesday, the last day of July. And we'll open up that day at all 3 locations. We're not attended, but I hope, hopefully me and Chris and some more will be around. And we hope we're really, really busy, and we have to empty trash cans all day and stuff like that, and change out the towel cart and change out the prep station buckets. We hope we've got a lot of activities to work us to death because we want to make it work. So it's a great way for someone, you need to wash your car every now and then anyways.
Right.
So what better way to also give $5 back to an elderly person or an unemployed person that can't pay their utility bill.
Okay, well, we certainly appreciate your assistance.
Thank
we really
you.
do. Are there any further comments that you'd like to add?
Not really. I think, we've said it all. Support Rocky Mount. Support all your local businesses. If you like our car wash, give us a try. If you like it, come back. If you don't, tell us what we can do to improve it, and we'll try to do that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much once again, Mr. Holloman. Thank you for tuning in to City Beat as well. When we come back, we'll talk with the pastor of W.A.R.M Tabernacle, and we'll focus on his contribution to the W.A.R.M program as well. You're watching City Beat.
Hi, did you know that hurricane season is already underway? June 1st through November 30th, we want you to be prepared in the event that a storm should occur. I'm Kim Wittig, Fire and Life Safety Educator for the City of Rocky Mount, and we'd like for you to prepare a kit ensuring that your family has the following items. Your family natural disaster kit should include a battery-powered radio or TV and a flashlight. Be sure to keep extra batteries on hand. Gather a 3-day supply of non-perishable food and bottled water for each family member. It is recommended to have 3 gallons of water per person per day. Include kitchen tools such as a manual can opener, utensils, and matches. Your family natural disaster kit should also consist of a change of clothes, a blanket and pillow for each family member, special needs items like diapers, formula, and your medications. Keep cash and your credit cards around, an extra set of car keys, and proper identification for each family member. Plus, make sure that your kit always has personal hygiene products and copies of your most important documents like insurance policies, a social security card, and a copy of your driver's license. Get your kit ready now and stay safe this season.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. I'm Tamika Norman, and today's show focuses on the W.A.R.M program, or Winter Assistance for Rocky Mount, and it's never too early to show your support. And I'm really excited to have with us today the pastor of W.A.R.M Tabernacle, Mr. James Gaillard. Did I say that correctly this time?
You hit a home run, Tamika.
All right.
Gaillard, that's right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And I've heard so many positive things about you. I've been with the city for a couple of months now. But tell us a little bit about yourself and about W.A.R.M.
Sure. Well, I'm a native of Philadelphia and trained undergrad and grad school in Atlanta. Came here 7 years ago, March of 2005. Was actually in South Africa doing some church work and some missionary work, and met a pastor from Rocky Mount, of all places. And that relationship brought me here. And so March 2005, we started a church here, just a small little mission church, 14 people. And then we've just watched God just do tremendous things since then. So we've just been a ministry that is very, very concerned about the whole person. And so we really have based our ministry from the very beginning on just 2 very simple commitments, simple thoughts, which is, we want people to know Jesus, and we want them to grow in that relationship with him. And then we want to be sensitive to their social needs. So the things that touch their lives, their housing, their education, their health care, their involvement with the justice system, whatever those things are that touch people's lives every day, we want to do our best as a church to be involved in it. And that's pretty much what we've been about in the last 7 years.
And you've grown from 14 to approximately how many?
Yeah, we're right under about 2,400 right now.
Wow, that is amazing.
It has been. We've never had a Sunday in the history of the church without seeing people join or saved. And we typically will add, 30, 40, 50 people a month. And so it's just been phenomenal. It really has. So it's been good.
Okay, well, congratulations. Keep doing your thing.
Thanks.
And we are very proud of the fact that you all have helped so much with the W.A.R.M program as well. How long have you been a supporter of that program?
I'm probably not from our first year, but I would imagine by our second or third year. So, you know, 06, 07. I know it was very, very early on in the ministry. We've always had other people involve themselves in the community aspects of the ministry, so I'm not exactly sure, but we came looking for opportunities. How can we minister to the community? How can we develop collaborations? How can we develop partnerships? You know, and when we find and identify areas of need, it is very difficult for us to say no to them when we know it's a legitimate need. So, you know, I would say probably about 5 years now we've been involved.
Okay. And you give to the W.A.R.M program through REACH, correct?
Yeah. It's what happens is we fund a REACH program, which stands for Responsive Emergency Assistance to Cooperating Households. And that's an interesting program because it actually started in one of our administration areas at one of our admin desks. And back in those days when we started, like 05 or something like that, or 06, we had like $100 a month. So we said, listen, you know what? All we have is $100 a month, but we're gonna give this $100 to somebody. And so it's whoever comes, we'll have them fill out just a little one-page application. If they need help with their utilities or food or whatever, then we're gonna bless them. And so, you know, people started finding out that, you know, that $100 would go real quick, and then other people started coming like, well, we can't really help you. We have to wait till next month when we have another $100. And so that was like 5 years ago.
Okay.
You know, now it's in its own building, has its own volunteer staff. You know, they'll do about $50,000+ in direct support to the community this year, maybe a little more. And so it is one of our outreach tools as a church, where we're ministering predominantly to people in the community, but also our own congregation. You know, hey, man, people fall in tough times. And when they do, we really feel a commitment as a church body, you know, to reach out and do what we can do. It's a very different environment than your average support environment because it is very invasive. And we're not being invasive in our questioning to embarrass people. We do it to empower them. We want to dig deep enough to understand where did things go wrong. Because after we write this check to help you with food or utilities or whatever the case is, prescription drugs, whatever the case is, we want to then be able to say, man, we want to empower you so you're not going to be back here 6 months from now. So we dig a little bit to understand the issues so that we can really address the whole issue. And then, so as we fund REACH, REACH in turn will fund either separate organizations or will fund direct support to the community. And so it's really a both and answer and not an either or. So we don't directly fund through REACH, but as a result of REACH is how we really are touching the community. But what we do as a church, and this is something that, you know, and I'm not afraid to say this, I'm hoping other pastors will hear this and kind of run with it. A lot of times it's difficult for churches once they've done their budget to really, you know, come alongside. I mean, let's face it, people don't have a lot of extra money. So what we do is we have designated missions giving. We do have some undesignated money. So if stuff comes along in the middle of the year, some great project, some great enterprise, and we can fund it, we will. But we try to designate funding for organizations on the front end of our budget. So we now have progressed to the point where we write the W.A.R.M program into our missions budget. So we don't ever have to worry when the request comes every year. W.A.R.M doesn't even really have to ask, because we don't have to ask permission, can we write the check, because we've already designated money for them. This is, I think, the best strategy for the average church. You know, and granted, the average church can't do to the extent that we do because we've grown so large, but that's why I told the story of how we got started, because it started with a $100 commitment in a month. You know, so even if a church said, listen, all we can do is give W.A.R.M $100 a year, you know, if they write that $100 into their missions budget, then it's done. You know, it's 3,400 churches. I'm sorry, 340 churches, 340 churches in Rocky Mount. And you do the math. You know, and so if everybody kind of does a small little part, I think it's so much good that can be done for people. So for us, we just write you guys, or not you guys, but the W.A.R.M program right into the budget.
Wow, so that's really impactful. And through all that you're doing, through the REACH program, your contributions, et cetera, are there any personal stories that really stick with you? Now, I know you said you talk to people and say, hey, where did things go wrong? How can we fix that? And once those stories stand out for you, did you help them progress or change things?
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. We don't do it with the hidden agenda of gaining a member. You know, but the truth of the matter is that when you are there for someone when they are in their hour of need, people don't have short memories. And so they're going to be mindful of that. We're going to do it regardless because it's the right thing. But, you know, some of the best stories for me are You know, I can think of a single mother who the first way they came to our church was by way of reach through the city, actually. You know, so we get a lot of agencies will refer people to our program. You know, social services, county programs, the city. And so by way of a city program, we got this person sent to us to reach. We wound up helping them again. When they got help through W.A.R.M, they got help through reach. We were able to really identify what the problem was. The single mom wound up going back to school, graduating from, you know, getting her associate's degree from Edgecombe Community College. And then literally, I remember she joined the church, and then probably a year and a half later, we have a financial literacy program. She went through the financial literacy program, and like a year and a half later, I was getting a phone call from her saying, can you come do my house blessing? I just bought my first house. So, I mean, literally, this person went from, I can't pay rent, and I can't pay utilities in an apartment that I'm renting, so I'm, you know, I'm needing help, to getting education, to getting empowerment, to literally, you know, being out on their own. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes people just need a little help up. You know?
Exactly.
And so we got to be able to do that for those of us who are blessed, you know, because, you know, 6 months from now, it could be me making an application somewhere. You know, most of our grandmas will say something like, there by the grace of God go I. You know, and so that's kind of how we view it, like, man, that could be me. You know, so there's so many amazing success stories of people that if you just give them a little help along the way, man, it's amazing what else can happen.
Mm-hmm. And I know it makes you feel good to see that, to see stories end up that way. But what would you say to folks who have not given to the program yet? What would you say to them? Yeah,
you know, I think, you know, one of my favorite quotes is, you know, it should be our responsibility to put back into the world at least as much as we've taken out of it. You know, and so, you know, for churches, I think, and I predominantly speak to churches because I'm a pastor. And so I recognize the budget considerations. I recognize the tough economic times, you know, but I have never known anyone who became poor because they gave. As a matter of fact, the biblical principle, it really teaches us, give and it shall be given unto you. You know, pressed down, shaken together, running over. And so what I always encourage churches is that God has designed this system, this financial system, for us to be givers. And when we are, it's amazing what the boomerang effect is, what the reciprocal effect is. You know what, I don't want to over spiritualize this, Tamika, but you know, I'm a real believer that out of our giving, our roof lasts longer than the average church. Our heating system doesn't break down as much. Our lights don't burn out as quick. I'm convinced that God has so blessed our ministry that we see it in other ways. So we don't ever miss it. What we have done is we have tithed our budget to missions from the day we started our church. Back when we had a small little budget, we said, you know what? 10% of everything that comes into this church, we are going to give away and bless someone else with. And then we started finding agencies that are worthy of those dollars. And so, you know, whether it's United Way or Red Cross or the Right Center or, you know, Downey's Partnership for Children or whatever, Hugh, we probably fund, you know, 25 or 30 not-for-profits. And one of them is the W.A.R.M program. And so I would encourage, you know, churches to really consider writing that program into its missions budget, even just a small little amount every year, so that they can really begin to be an extension into the city and create those collaborations like we need to do as a church body.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for all that you all have done for the W.A.R.M program as well. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having us, and we look forward to keep supporting and keep collaborating with you guys.
Okay, thank you. And thank you all for tuning in to another edition of City Beat. We encourage you to continue to support the W.A.R.M program. If you need more information, check out the website that is currently on your screen. I'm Tamika Keenan Norman. Tune in next week for more of City Beat.